Look.
Listen.
Welcome, Taylor. Welcome
Thank
to episode 153 of the Look, Listen cast. It's a podcast. It's about Pokemon and other things, and I don't believe it, Taylor. They brought back the Horizons team to animate and write an episode of Pokemon Horizons.
Happy vacation return, everybody. Sounds like a Kingdom Hearts game. Vacation / return.
We today, Taylor, are going to discuss the Horizons anime. We're going to discuss that. We're going to discuss other things. Taylor, before we move into our first segment of the week, could you go ahead and let's just tease the listeners a little bit and tell them, give them a little the title of today's episode, and tell them maybe perhaps what happened last week on Pokes. Taylor?
Previously on Pokemon, we had a pretty darn sick episode. I wasn't here for it. But Megalucario became Megalucario Z. With the training circumstances of that episode were super similar to Hunter x Hunter or a Yu Yu Hakusho, both by the same creator. Very good episode. I'd give it like a 9 out of 10, I would say.
Yeah,
this episode, will they start out by saying, save your energy, no more battles, and then proceed to battle the whole time? I don't know. Time will tell.
Well, to be fair to this week's episode, everybody's being clever. They're not using their main pokes because everybody has their one Terra type poke. All their other pokes are completely expendable. Taylor, can you, in English, please tell me the title of this week's episode, episode 133?
To the final battle.
Or in Japanese, Saigo no Tatakai. Hey. Love Japanese, how they just got hey. Hey's just in there for
and they can't help themselves but say Psycho Soldier at the beginning of episodes.
Done. No, that's Rocky. Taylor, can you please tell us a quick one-sentence synopsis this week of this week's Pokemon episode, Horizons.
The gang has to conserve their stamina, so they gotta fight smart. But they do have to fight.
Yeah, they got... Oh, God, there's a lot of fighting.
There's so much
Taylor,
fighting.
You weren't here last week, but on the last Horizons we covered, when we discussed next time on Pokes, I said we've had about 5 episodes in a row that were just bangers, absolute amazing, and I just know next week's going to be nothing but battles and boring and bad. And, well, the kids want fights. Taylor, it is time for our first segment of the week. It is, of course, Geese of the Week, What You've Been Peeping, named after the third member of the podcast, Geese Peep. Is she here? No.
Allegedly.
She's probably got better things to do.
Probably. Here in spirit.
Taylor, I got to rip through this because I've got a pretty fat Geese of the Week this week. And I'm actually leaving off multiple films because I think the way the recording is working out, I recorded last week's really early and this one's being recorded really late. So I've played a lot of things. Let's start with, thank goodness for PlayStation sales. It's the spring sale. So I bought Once Upon a Katamari. Guys, Katamari's wonderful. This is a very, very good... This is the best Katamari game they've put out probably since Katamari Forever. Once Upon a Katamari... Now, here's my issue with it. It's chock full of stuff. People really love it. It's a huge Katamari game, and it's all new stuff, unlike Katamari Forever, which had a lot of old stuff and a few new things. The issue I have with it is when I boot up Katamari, what I want to do is I want to roll up a really, really big Katamari. And that's how I have fun. But I'd say a big time limit to roll up a huge Katamari is pretty few and far between right now. I'm sure at the end of the game I'll get more opportunities. But right now I'm getting a lot more that are just little missions or roll up as fast as possible, just real quick, this tiny thing, which I don't have as much fun with. I just want to build a giant Katamari. I want to be clever about my movements and be efficient and
you have to think about the game design though.
I need the last 2 minutes to be woo woo, and I'm picking up all the houses and islands and cosmos, and it's a wonderful game. I recommend it to everybody.
It's very sick, but you like that kind of runs into that problem where enough is never enough. You're rolling cosmos minute 1. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, I know. They got a lot of collectibles. They got weird, like they added a bunch to this. There's a whole multiplayer mode where it's a competitive roll up thing, which I'm not.
Although, they could start out with the prince losing his powers and rolling up the cosmos, and then he gets in trouble because he rolled up the wrong cosmos. And King of all Cosmos says, "Young man, time out," and then he loses his powers.
Much like your dog, I'm currently playing a cousin named Charlie. He's fun. He has a little wheel. He runs around on a little wheel. Taylor, a wooden wheel. Taylor, I also saw in the MGM Grand Theater David Copperfield, the magician, the illusionist, as Oprah Winfrey calls him, the greatest illusionist of our generation.
I thought she was a really big David Copperfield hater, and you were going to say, as Oprah Winfrey calls him, the biggest fraud of our time.
No. Here's the thing, though, Taylor. He's closing up shop. Now, I have been burned by this before. There was news recently that David Copperfield, after performing for 700 years as some sort of demon phantom puppet master type figure,
illusionist.
He's closing up shop after decades and decades in his theater, and he's calling it quits. And so I said, well, I got to see it. Much like I rushed over to watch the band, you know the one I'm talking about, Taylor, of course.
A2s.
The B-52s.
B-52.
But I got goofed on that one because they said, this is their final show ever. And I rushed to see it. And then they said, just kidding, we've extended. And I said, well.
You know that's what they're going to do.
He better not. He better not, Taylor.
It's the biggest thing in the world.
Okay, girls. Let me begin by saying Penn and Teller, what great performers. I love that show. I recommend Penn and Teller to everybody. Here's what I'll say about David Copperfield. It's not a good show. The man is very old. But girls, you would have loved it. I know your sense of humor. He cracks these little jokes, but the face he makes after he does an illusion. I didn't think this was real. I've seen parodies of this, like little internet videos of making fun of like little street magician illusionists doing this little face where they go, after doing an illusion. The eyebrows. Oh my God. Geese Peep was losing it because I told her I went on stage, but a lot of people got brought up on stage for David Copperfield thing. It's fun to be able to see how the little tricks work, because when you're on stage, you see how they're hiding people under little blankets and they're running behind the curtain and running up in front of you, and it's whatever. My favorite part by far, it was a bad show, I would say. There's some cool set piece moments, and it's not really spoilers because all the advertisements for this show, it shows this spaceship and this giant dinosaur, and so when those happen in the show, it is cool. But my favorite part of the entire show is when he's clearly looking for a certain answer so he can do his trick. So like he's asking a member of the audience, like, how long would you say? There was this girl from Bulgaria, and you say you want to go to Zanzibar. When would you like to go? In a few weeks, a few months, a few years? And the girl said, oh, I'd like to go right now. You could tell that completely ruins the trick. So he just stared at her and said, be realistic. How long? And so then she had to switch to like, I don't know, a few months. And so then when the big reveal at the end comes out where it's like, remember all these random answers? Look, we had them written the whole time. And it says weeks. I love how often that happened where he had to say, guys, please.
It's so funny. Performing artists who are very old and have reached that part of their lives where they just don't care anymore.
It's so good. No, okay. Hold on.
Not like he's phoning it in, but they don't care about upsetting somebody.
Oh, he's phoning it in. I don't know if he started drinking halfway through the show, but at a certain point, it was just autopilot. The script he was saying, it was kind of mumbling, and the mic wasn't really working. But I gotta hand it to my boy David Copperfield. I did appreciate. I don't know if you've ever been in little things like this before, Taylor, maybe to Disneyland or something, at a little Bug's Life, It's a Bug's World, where they'll pick somebody in the audience and the camera will show on them, and then they'll make little jokes at the audience member's expense, and it's supposed to be a fun time. I gotta say, though, in defense of David Copperfield, they're making this joke. There's like a baby Yoda from the future, but he's 1,000,000 years old, and he said, oh, I had all these fun times with this young woman in the 60s, and then the camera kept showing this super old woman in the audience who kept getting so embarrassed. And the puppeteer Baby Yoda guy who kept, talking about her, but David Copperfield could tell that she was uncomfortable,
not having fun.
So he was like, well, maybe let's show somebody else. That's fine. You leave her alone. And I think that was nice of him. Honestly.
Yeah, of course it is.
Oh, but God, there's so many moments. I know you would have laughed so hard at his little jokes, at his little delivery. Oh my God, when this woman had a difficult to pronounce name, oh, his reaction was so good. Oh, the eyebrows, him saying, yeah, of course it is. Exactly. Good stuff. But I really had no interest in seeing this, but there's a part of me that when you tell me something's going away forever, I have to immediately go and see it because I'll never have another opportunity. So that's why I saw it. That's why I saw David Copperfield.
It's FOMO. Of all artists, he could pull off a revival tour. Imagine imagine he fakes his own death.
He's 90 years old.
Exactly. That's why everyone can believe it.
His next trick, he said he's going to the moon or something. He's going to make the moon disappear, which is impressive because he did make the Statue of Liberty disappear. Also, I ate at my favorite buffet in the world, not Storyteller's Cafe, Taylor, but the Wynn Buffet. I had some incredible, and I couldn't believe it was being slept on. Nobody else was grabbing this food. It was just me. Filipina Banana Chicken. Just thinking about it is just making my stomach go grumbles big time. This chicken tasted so good. And what I really appreciate about it, and I know you'll like this too, Taylor, no matter how you grabbed the food with your tongs, you're just going to get pure, perfect, no bone, no gristly, weird anything. Just beautiful, chewable bites. And
That's amazing.
I was loving it. Okay. We got to keep going. I had no idea this was out, by the way. I got an email from Hulu. And I said, why is Hulu advertising to me more Handmaid's Tale? I've already seen all of Handmaid's Tale. Taylor, there's a new sequel to Handmaid's Tale out, and it's The Testaments, and it's good. I was impressed, and I am... Yeah.
Like first 2 seasons Handmaid's Tale good, or better than the last few seasons of Handmaid's Tale?
Definitely better than the last few seasons of Handmaid's Tale.
All right, that's good. That's a bar to clear.
There's a shift going, directorial, tonal shift. But I'm enjoying it. Nah.
Darn it.
I'm enjoying it. I can't wait for the next episode. I'm having a good time. It is a direct sequel, so they could have just called it Handmaid's Tale, but because the Margaret Atwood wrote another book, and it's called The Testaments, the show is called The Testaments. So there you go.
The Testaments is going to get confused so much with the Righteous Gemstones.
No, it would never. And, I recommend that one as well. Good stuff. Finally, Taylor, let me wrap up my Geese of the Week. Good Lord. Yesterday, I saw the film Exit 8, based off of the video game Exit 8.
How was it?
It was good.
Oh, that's so good.
The funny thing is, a lot of what you would get out of the movie, you could just play the game. And then because it's a movie, they have to slap on a little, some sort of theme or whatever. And I won't spoil what the theme is, but I will say, it shares some similarities with Eraserhead by David Lynch. That's what I'll say. Spoilers.
Huh.
But yeah, Exit 8's fine. They use the song Bolero. You're familiar with Bolero?
Yeah.
It opens the movie, and I believe it closes the movie too. And
that's half their budget.
I've had that song stuck in my head for quite a while, and I've been listening to it on earbuds. So be prepared for that. If you're going to watch Exit 8, you're probably going to have to listen to Bolero because it is a very catchy song.
It's
okay,
so
Taylor.
catchy.
I'm done. Please, God, just take it away with your Geese of the Week.
My Geese of the Week is absurd.
Can I just tell you before you say anything?
Yes.
If you're not already, I cannot stop hearing about people loving Marathon. If you're not playing Marathon, you need to be playing Marathon, apparently, because you would love it. It's everything you've ever loved in your life.
I'll get it when it's on sale.
It's already only like $40 or something, right?
I know, but I don't want to give them one more user. Because I know this would be the best time to play it. Even Eric was asking me about it if we were getting into Marathon. And I just kept thinking, you hated PvP in Destiny. All he would do is get incredibly angry. I was the only one of my friends that played PvP in Destiny.
No. Anyway, go ahead, please.
So it's been like, 2-3 weeks? I've been traveling nonstop. I was in Los Angeles playing polo. Came back home. Went to Phoenix next weekend to play polo. Finally got water at Postino.
Am I having a stroke? What does finally got water at Postino mean?
It's
you sound like you're speaking French.
It's a bit of a throwback to 1 year ago in Phoenix where the Postino waiters would not give me water. But this year...
everybody remembers that reference, Taylor!
I know, exactly. The real fans do. So, I'm sure somebody... No, statistically...
Nobody! Please.
I don't even remember it, to be honest. I could have not said it. I don't know.
Keep going.
I wore double Hatsune Miku shirt, so everybody was complimenting, and everybody was giving me water. So...
Perfect.
I was very ready for it. Hatsune Miku, of course, the last time I saw her was in Arizona. Tournament went well. I was very dehydrated for several days after that.
I feel like you told this story, but continue.
Yeah, it happens every time. Very next weekend, straight to Florida for megalodon tooth diving. So this was a trip with our rich friends. So it was a bunch of like private boats and, do you want to go here? Do you want to go here? Where do you want to go? Do I care too much about that experience? Not particularly. I was just trolling on the bottom of the water for megalodon teeth. I found
Who were you were trolling teeth. The sharks?
Yeah, trolling the bottom.
Like joke, like
just
give
saying,
them playing little practice,
making little like wrinkling my bottle so the sharks attack me. I found a ton of teeth. I found half of one megalodon tooth. And some other cool stuff. Guncan found 2 megalodon teeth. None of them were the big 5-6 inch teeth that are like $20,000 or whatever.
20,000 big ones.
People pay a lot of money for these gigantic teeth, but it's really cool. Wow. So the whole Gulf of Mexico is basically, it was a kind of a hatchery. God bless the hatchery. Or thank God for the hatchery. It was a big, it was an area where megalodons would go to reproduce and have their offspring and everything. Both things, believe it or not. And they would just swim around in there, eat. That's why you see all these fossilized teeth. So the visibility was like a foot, maybe 2 feet. Horrible visibility. So I'm just in the waters off of Florida. I can hear my friend on his little scooter scooting around, but I can't see anything. So I'm just sitting there floating in my dry suit. Thank God, because the water was so cold. Just collecting teeth for several hours. It was nice and fun. Good trip. We went shelling. That was okay. I dropped a $1,200 camera into the water for about half a second, and it is permanently ruined, even though I did as much as I could to correct that saltwater damage. It's just gone. So that's
you love to see it.
Oh, yeah. Such a bummer.
Just take $1,200 to the tables.
Went back. That'd be good. If only I had that kind of luck. Anyway, we're going to Mexico coming up, so we're getting all of our gear service. That's gonna be fun. But overall, it was a good trip. Had a goofball market over the weekend where part of the building caught on fire, so we had to evacuate.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, that was good. That was fine.
If you're going to Mexico, remember you have to bring a lot of cash for bribes.
All right.
Or else
no, we're just going to Tulum. We're going whale shark diving.
Whale shark. You can't just, what is this, Avatar? You just throw animals together?
Exactly.
Bear swordfish? Come on now.
So what have I been playing and watching and eating?
Oh, you haven't even begun.
That's just traveling over the past 3 weeks. Been watching Lost. Watched Something Very Bad Is Going to Happen. Now, this is a Netflix show that cast an attractive actress and said, hey, guess what? You're going to just look at the camera for about 50% of this show. So that's what it is just pretending you're a mirror and she's doing faces into the mirror. I would actually recommend this show because even though the last several episodes are very frustrating and weak, and you can tell they're like, what if we do a full argument in a single take? And somebody else said, yeah, no one's ever done that before. But nobody ever said, there's a reason nobody's ever done that before. And it's because it's very frustrating, very slow, and you just are sitting there getting frustrated because you want something to happen in the show. The first, I would say 3 or 4 episodes have a lot of crazy, interesting cinematography. Just so many cool moments where really unique, very interesting things are happening. So I would recommend at least the first half of that show.
And so say the title one more time.
Something very bad is going to happen. The game that I have been playing is Resident Evil 4 Remake, and my goodness, is it fun. I just completed the second zone.
I tried to play that a week ago or so. And
in VR, right?
Took the Dramamine ahead of time. Couldn't play more than 10 minutes. And so, I'm going to have to give up and just play it non-VR. And I'm sad about that fact. Especially, like I say, because the VR mode in Resident Evil 4, the knife is so powerful because you just swing it with your little hand and it does 1,000,000 damage a second. Okay.
That's Taylor, a bummer because it's like you can't even use the VR too.
I know. Well, no, I'm fine with something like Beat Saber where you're just standing straight forward. It's fine. It's only playing something wild like Resident Evil 4 where I'm literally constantly moving my body and going every which way and turning and goofing, and that's what's going to goof you.
They need Dino City Droppers too.
I just want better technology that doesn't goof your entire body. Okay, Taylor. Sounds like it is time for Poké-news of the week. The deer and the antelope play,
and pray.
Seldom is heard a discouraging word in the clouds. There's a meatball on the mountain. You know the song, Taylor.
Yeah.
Top of old. All right, Cerebi.net reports that we've got a Pokemon Community Day coming up on May 9th, 2026. This is for Lechonk, and I swear to goodness, they were throwing out shiny Lechonks like they were going out of business, going out of style. I have so many shiny Lechonks, so unfortunately, this does nothing for me, much like the shiny Tinkatink the other day. I have plenty of them, so I don't need more. Sorry, guys. Also, important news. So a while ago, Taylor, Pokemon announced 2 events. One of them was called Night Out, and one of them is called Day Out. And
that's so sick.
It's these huge events. Day Out's more geared towards families, and Night Out is more geared towards adults. Night Out there's more details, I think, for Night Out. It's a special live music experience featuring Marshmello. You've heard of that artist or what have you.
The DJ, yeah.
The DJ. And someone named Allison Wonderland. There will be custom visuals and sets. They will be at the Intuit Dome in Los Angeles, October 24th, and the O2 Arena in London, November 10th. Tickets go on sale April 17th. So buy those tickets if you want to go.
Interesting.
And then the Day Out events, that's going to be in Bordeaux, Dresden, Mexico City, and New York City this summer. I don't see details on that, but it's going to be for families. Taylor, it is now time to discuss an episode of Pokemon. Just one more time, tell us the title of this week's episode, please.
To the final battle!
Saigo no Tatakai!
Soldier!
Dun-dun! Dun-dun! Taylor, we open with the explorers in Laqua, of all places. We got Chelsea. We got Sidian. All their Pokemon, and Coral. Who can forget sweet, innocent Coral, Taylor?
She does want her sweets.
Looks like the Rising Voltaclers are on their way to Laqua, and we gotta stop them. Theme song! We're back from the theme song, Taylor, and we're in the Brave Olivine. Dot says to literally everyone, I've never seen a screen so full of people and Pokemon animated on one. They must have run out of ink. Good Lord.
This is the Avengers of Pokemon.
Dot says to everyone, okay, guys, who here has played Final Fantasy VI? Because that's what we're going to do. We're going to split up into multiple groups, teams of 3 by sky, by land, by forest, everything.
That's cool.
I'm staring at this screen saying, no wonder they had to take 2 weeks off. They had to spend the time drawing this image. Taylor, there's 100 Pokemon and people in this picture. I don't even know how this... That's probably over the weight limit of the Brave Olivine, to be honest. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to hit the Lockwium core. But here's the problem, Taylor.
Question from the audience, and I assume this is related to the problem.
Go ahead, Taylor.
What and where?
Who?
Because I don't think they've mentioned the Lockwium core, correct?
Yeah, we've been to the Lockwium core 7 seasons ago. It ended there, remember?
They identified it that way?
Yes.
They said this is the route?
Yeah, and the big battle between Gibeon and Psycho Soldier.
I thought it was way more broadly defined than that. I thought it was just, there's Laquaum everywhere, and we've got to get rid of all the Laquaum in Laqua.
Nah, it's just that core that'll probably do the trick. Now, but here's the problem, Taylor. Here's the problem. We got to go down there, but the last thing we could ever do is battle, because here's the thing. We need all 18 Terra types, right? We can't have knocked out Pokemon down there. We know we can't afford to buy some revives and potions. So we got to purify the core. Absolutely zero battling is allowed to happen this episode.
Because there is a 0 item limit.
Yes.
And
everybody,
when they were going into this and they were talking about it, I had several thoughts, which is good. I like when the episodes make me think about what's going to unfold. But one, I'm getting excited because I'm thinking no battling. This is going to be a big sneak mission, all strategizing. They're going to have to manage their resources. I've been playing Resident Evil 4 Remake, hot off the heels of Resident Evil 8. I'm good to go. I'm ready.
You said eyes cracking me up.
But the second bit is there's 0 redundancy in the world-saving mission. None. We're not having 2 of each Terra type. We're not having 2 of a couple. It's 1 of each.
Yeah, when you decide to be a legendary hero, that's on you. No understudies. Okay, everybody, let's get hyped up. Everybody, hands in. Woo! Ooh! Look! They start barking like dogs. Look, we see all the Terra types accounted for. Look at all these Pokemon on the screen. Wow.
Many.
We get a cut to the little mountain village. Taylor, I don't know if you remember this little mountain village, because the last time we saw it, I'm pretty sure we were in high school. Here's the great news. Because the last time we had an episode with Yuha and all these little mountain villagers was before we had any of the English names. So we do learn that this village and the mountain in English are called Pericarp, which, okay.
Yeah.
Pericarp. Yeah. It's apparently the name of a part of a fruit, like an outer layer or something. Shouts out.
Yeah, the pericarpum.
Sure. All the villagers looking up in the sky, they see the brave Olivine. Immediately they say, dag nabbit, not those darn Rising Volt tacklers again, those no good troublemakers.
They haven't cleared anything up in any of the time away.
I think they watched the television. They watched the news. All the news is talking about how bad and evil they are. I, for one, do feel bad for these villagers. They're just trying to live their peaceful life. There's always some giant battle.
As far as they could. And the Volt tacklers are just following them.
Luckily, Yuha, our boy from several seasons ago, defends the Rising Volt tacklers and says, you guys don't know what you're talking about. You've never even met these guys. They're not troublemakers.
They're trouble fixers.
Exactly. Yuha believes in the Rising Volt tacklers, and his Noibat believes in Yuha. So that's all we're going to see of him. Let's go ahead and cut to a very dramatic entrance into Laqua. Pagogo-chan sends out the Pagogo signal into the sky to call the original 6 heroes. And then we're going to cut to Spinal and Umbreon and their little command base watching the Rising Volt tacklers arrive. And he says, it's time to intercept them, my explorers. Ha 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 ha. Like Skeletor from He-Man and Masters of the Universe, Taylor.
Movie coming soon.
Oh, yeah. All right, now we're gonna see all the different groups. We got
Didn't
the boys.
I see a movie recently?
Who,
I saw Project Hail Mary.
Yeah.
Did
you like it?
It was really well produced. I didn't think the humor was quite as bad as I was expecting. You probably tempered those expectations a bit. I do wish it had been billed as a family movie, because I have never felt less stress watching an entire movie where the plot is world's ending.
Yeah, and sorry, people who don't care about this and only Pokemon, but my biggest problem with that movie, other than I felt too many jokes at the front, was did you notice how it tried to end itself 15 times?
Yes,
and
I did.
At a certain point, it's like, I'm not falling for your tricks.
Yeah.
It's always like, oh no, the worst thing's gonna happen. Nah, we're fine. Oh no, the worst thing's gonna. Nah, we're fine.
Oh
okay.
No, I wonder where he's gonna be. It's all good. Oh, but how's he waking? Oh no, it's fine.
Okay, back to Pokemon. The boys are flying in. We got Ult, we got Fritos, we got Roy. They're all on their Dragonites and their Charizards, and Roy's holding on for dear life to poor Kilowattrel's feet. But Taylor, what's that in the sky? Is that an Aerodactyl speeding towards them alongside a Glalie?
Now that Aerodactyl coming out of nowhere. Aerodactyl coming out of nowhere was, I think, very well done, because it is moving up just like a shark almost. Like an ambush type of thing, and it was super scary.
My God, Taylor, it's the Explorers. Sidian and Coral at it again. My first thought is, are they going to fight in the sky? Are they going to do a sky battle? No. The Rising Bolt Tacklers just fly away, and the Explorers give chase. Okay, we're done with that for now. Let's cut to the girlies in the forest. We got Penny, Liko, Grandma, Anne, Dot, Nimona. I think Captain Pikachu's here. They're walking through the Laqua forest.
I was cracking up because every moment of this episode, I was just thinking, oh, you Volt Tacklers better not be battling. You better not be battling in that room when I come in.
Hey. I better not hear a Pokeball. So they're walking through the forest, and out of nowhere, Taylor, we see a little Zygarde cell start scooting around. I know Taylor wishes he could find a Zygarde cell.
Boy, do I.
It's funny because anytime I do a route, I'm drowning in Zygarde cells.
So I now, because I bought that pass. Oh, by the way, I've had 2 consecutive months where I've finished the entire monthly route of quests, and I haven't cashed it in.
That's sick.
Yeah. But because I bought that one pass, I did get enough Zygarde cells to the 100% form. I can transform into the complete form. I'm saving them for when the shiny comes out.
It'll be sick.
Has to be sick.
Now here's the thing. There's supposed to be Pokemon all over Laqua, but I'm not seeing any Pokemon. Maybe because the darn explorers say that actually they're here for the habitat of Pokemon, try and be good for Pokemon, but actually...
that is actually kind of cool storytelling, because that's what industrialization does to an area.
Yeah.
All of the animals flee, even if the conditions are great. And then people complain about bear attacks, and it's like, well, you took the forest away. What are they supposed to do?
Everybody watch the Pixar film Hoppers in theaters now, and you'll learn all about it. Oh my God, Taylor, a big dark-looking beam's coming out of nowhere. From where? Grandma, do something. Arcanine, flamethrower. And then Captain Pikachu, Liko, Anne, and Grandma all hop on Arcanine and run away, because here's the thing. Liko, we can't afford to have you sitting around here with Pagogo-chan. None of this works unless we got Pagogo-chan. So I just need you to run away. Me, Penny, or me, Dot, and my friend Nimona here will stay to battle the threat. Even though there's I remember being promised there's 0 battles.
Yeah, no battles allowed.
That's what I remember.
It's not an option.
Maybe I misremembered, because what happens next in the next scene is we go Goldango, go Jolteon, go Decidueye, Dark Pulse. Oh my God, that was the move hitting him earlier. Goldango, make it rain. Jolteon, Pin Missile, Razor Leaf Decidueye, attack that Runaregis lurking in the bushes. Oh my God, there are so many ghostly coffins over here. We got 3 Coffagregis, 3 Runaregis, or a pack of them.
I was thinking that in this scenario, they were either illusions or naturally occurring. Like it was just a swarm of them. I didn't think they had trainers.
Right. Well, it's because they're Loquium infused, so they do look kind of like an apparition. Also, they're ghosts, so there's a lot of reasons they look that way. Decidueye, Spirit Shackle, Jolteon, Thunderbolt. Dot yells, "Wait, guys, maybe it's a trap." And Dot is correct. The ghosts at some point had used the move Destiny Bond, so immediately when Jolteon and Decidueye attacked, they were knocked out. Ghostly coffin apparition surrounded them, and my God.
What a move.
Who could have guessed? Who could have guessed this was the work of Rubina and Indy?
Would not have guessed that, because they normally do things color-coded.
They still are, with the different evolutions of Yamask. Penny can't believe how dirty these explorers fight. These dirty, dirty explorers.
Oh.
All right, we'll keep fighting then. We got plenty of Pokemon. Go Goldango. Go Vaporeon. Go Rabombi.
I was shocked when I saw that. The just not even first off the bench lineup going into this fight was cracking me up.
Rabombi is become one of my favorite Pokemon because one of the funniest videos in all of Pokemon is this video of Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, one of those games, and this man throws out a Rabombi against the ultra crazy Necrozma, and it uses its Z move, the light that destroys all whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And him just yelling, "That's the biggest attack in the world." Necrozma in those games is the only time I've ever played Pokemon, just, not some crazy challenge. Just normal, mainline Pokemon battle, and I've gone, guys, I don't know I had to grind up to fight this crazy Necrozma.
Interesting.
Okay. It's very difficult. What were we talking about? Oh, yeah. Oh, Taylor, the coffins, they're using more Destiny Bonds. I will say, luckily for our heroes, you keep using Destiny Bond, the chance of the move failing rises the more you use it in succession. So, good to know. Goldango, make it rain. Oh my goodness, Taylor, the coffins are using Curse. And one of the Rune Regises uses Mean Look. Now nobody can escape. Everybody's trapped. Everybody's cursed.
It's an incredibly good strategy.
Now, when I say
purposes.
Oh, yeah, you're smart. Rubina and Indy? Kidding me? Now, I say everybody's cursed. What I, of course, mean is everybody's cursed except for Goldango. Because... You kidding me? Have you ever heard of a little ability by the name As Good as Gold, Taylor? A little ability that makes him immune to status effects?
He's too sick to get affected by anything. He ignores the haters.
Make it rain, Goldango. Knock out all of them. And my boy Goldango takes 4 Destiny Bonds to the face. Good work, Goldango.
So sick.
Oh, he really took one for the team. He took 4 for the team, actually. And this battle is funny because it's just a normal, dinky, little, unimportant battle, but they make it so dramatic at the end of this. Just Dot's reaction of it's like we just saved the world or something.
Yeah,
in this battle,
yeah. Actually, pretty consistently, they were acting like the stakes have never been higher.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting close to some big stakes, I guess.
To the final battle, they said.
Real Chateaubriand. so then. The funniest moment of the episode, Rubina and Indy pull out just a comical amount of Pokeballs, like the man holding all those limes, and they just keep throwing out more Coffegregious and Rune Regis. And I say, well,
I'm watching this, and I'm thinking, no backups. You're telling me Heroes of Light are saying, no, we get one each. And the bad guys are just saying, no one told me 6 was the limit. I don't care.
Well, technically, they would have. I was about to say, I was going to make a silly joke and say, Rubin and Indy, they get 12,000 Pokemon each. Everybody else, they're doing, the tournament strats. You can bring in 6, but you can only use 4. That being said, if there's 3 at a time from each, 6 and 6, that would just be 6. But I don't think the police are going to arrest them for having more than 6 Pokemon.
No, Officer Jenny just doesn't work anymore. She retired.
Spoilers, the black and white champion, he didn't believe in Pokemon boxes, or he didn't know about technology at all. So rather than use the Pokemon box system for storing his Pokemon, his entire body was just covered in Pokeballs that were just all his Pokemon.
That's hilarious.
I don't think anybody arrested him. What are the girls going to do against all these Pokemon, Taylor? I don't know. Let's go to commercial break.
Yeah.
We're back from the commercial break. Go Quackavoll, go Palmont, go Flareon. Okay, sounds like the explorers are well aware of the plan about the 18 Terra types. Okay, good to know that they know.
Kind of, okay, so it was pretty arbitrary that they knew this? There wasn't a discovery period?
Listen, Spinal has cameras hidden everywhere. He's heard every word they've ever said. He probably has a mole. He probably has a flower pot with a little microphone in it.
A teddy bear in Grandma's castle.
In the Brave Olivine.
Yeah.
Flareon, use Protect. Oh, God. Rubina, Strong Sphere, and all the Coffin Ghosts, they all use Curse. But then, Taylor, a giant blood red beam appears from the forest. So sick. And out of nowhere, we see Butler Hamburger's Dusk Noir. Love this Dusk Noir. Immediately just goes over to Rune Regis, Coffee Regis, grabs the curse away from them, just palms it.
That was incredibly sick. I think I have liked Butler Hamburgers in every single battle he's been in.
He's a sick man. Palmot, double shock.
Oh, whoa, God forbid.
Oh, now it's smart to attack them before they can use the Destiny Bond, is what we learned in this scene.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, our boy, Bloodmern Ursulurna, walks out, and boy, is he sick. Flareon, please attack the coffins, please. Thank you very much. We're all wonderful. We did it. The explorers run away. Thank you, Butler Hamburgers. And then we get another funny moment where Flareon and Palmot are both embarrassed by Hamburger's compliment and terrified of the giant Blood Moon Ursaluna standing in front of them.
It is the scariest Pokemon I have ever seen by a significant margin.
He's terrifying. Oh, no. Oh, God, Taylor. I was so upset at this next scene. I wrote, oh, God, not more battling. Battling. Because out of nowhere, we see a fleet of Explorer grunts show up. We got Druddigan, Golbat, Leopard, Malamar, Thievel, Girder, Gramble. But luckily, Butler Hamburger says, don't worry, kids. I'll take care of this. You run off. Okay? They run off. The episode's still not over. We still got battling to do, Taylor. Let's cut to our flying men. The boys versus Sidian and Coral. Completely forgot they were in this episode, by the way.
Yep.
And then Chelsea teleports in. They discuss the big plan. And goodness gracious, it's time for more battling. It's Ghost Army. Go Lucario. Go whoever else. It's mega time. Taylor, say it. Say mega. Say mega. Say the word mega.
Mega evolve.
Triple mega. Yes. Very sick.
Yep, get him.
And now, if I weren't so annoyed at the fact I was watching a battle, I might think this next part was sick because the Explorers mega evolve too. And I say to myself, I don't recall if they've done that before. And it sounds like no, according to Roy's reaction when he said they can do that.
That's the problem, is this should have been such a sick moment, but I had so much battle fatigue by this point in the episode that I was barely paying attention. It's too much battling. You can't have this many episodes of just a giant battle.
Glalie, Blizzard, everybody get behind Mega Sableye giant gem. That's smart.
Which is pretty sick and is building on the training that Sableye was doing last episode.
Next week. Yep. Oh my God, Aerodactyl's coming for Lucario using an Iron Head. Dodge it, Lucario. Starmie, use Swift. That attack never misses. Oh man, Taylor, this Blizzard is getting hard to deal with. You can't see anything. And also, Mega Medicham just destroying Sableye's little Shadow Sneak. Look at that. Starmie, I got an idea. You're so fast. You can move your little appendages so quickly. Why don't you use agility, clear this Blizzard, and then we'll get a bunch more fighting. We'll see an Axe Kick, a Psy Beam, a Metal Claw. We'll turn on the music. Can we get our boy over here? You know the one, Toby Fox? Area Zero music? Yes, press play. Thank you.
Let's do it.
Ice Spinner. Sableye blocks some attacks with their giant
get
gem.
Him.
They then argue about defensive and offensive strats for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But it all culminates in one of the best moments of the episode, Taylor, when Mega Sableye takes his giant gem, walks over to Mega Glalie, and just shoves it in his mouth.
It was pretty sick.
The poor boy can't close his mouth, and I'm laughing. I'm having a good time.
I will say that Mega Sableye is by itself is giving this episode at least a full point.
Geese Peep would have loved this little section of Mega Sableye just doing his little goblin hop run away from Glalie. So good. So we got Glalie to stop the Blizzard. Now we're going to use Power Gem. Oh my God, he's using Ice Spinner. Glalie spits out the gem. Luckily, Starmie catches it just in time and gives it back to Sableye. Sableye, by the way, so impressed with Starmie's giant gem on his face. He gets a little overcome with emotion. Aerodactyl, Rock Blast. Starmie's blocking them all. Pating, 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 pating. And then Sableye blocks Glalie ice attacks with the gem. And they just keep fighting. All right, whatever. Let's cut to Arcanine Girlies with Captain Pikachu and Pagogo-chan. They're making it through the forest. To be continued. Episode's over. Oh, okay.
Oh, boy. This is...
Okay. Hold on.
Okay. You're right.
Get your horses. Everybody, hold your horses. Because we do got to say, Mega of the Week this week is Diancie. Which,
pretty
of
sick.
Course, as everyone is aware, I have a 4-star perfect Diancie. And everybody only has one Diancie. I mean, they're going to get a shiny Diancie later in Pokemon Go. But everybody be impressed with me. I have a mega perfect Diancie.
It's a good one. Actually, on Tinkatuff Day, even though I was busy evacuating from a building that apparently was on fire, there was a pretty sick 4-star Tinkaton Tinkatink that I got, which is good because it's a pink Pokemon, much like Diancie.
Yes. So Mega Diancie does a whole fashion show. We see Rhydon, Clefable, Graveler, Jigglypuff, Geodude, Golem, Wigglytuff, Glamora, and then all of Dot's Pokemon. They love how beautiful Diancie is. If Geese Peep were here, she'd say, "Oh, what a relief! Nidothing isn't murdered this episode." And the little nickname they give Mega Diancie is Royal Pink Princess. All right, sick. And then we get a next time on Pokes Taylor, and what I have written here is, "Oh God, more battling."
Yeah.
But in good news, I think we may just see a shiny Mega Zygarde, and that will be sick.
So that was
that's not sick.
That was the hypest part of the episode preview for sure. But the problem is, if that moment is just amidst a sea of battling, it's just gonna get washed away.
Probably. Okay, Taylor, it's time for us to score this episode, what we feel about it, that kind of thing. I actually feel, because I'm about to give it a low score, I actually feel pretty bad for this episode, because if you gave me this episode in the midst of just a string of trash, I may give it in the 7s, maybe a high 7.
Yeah.
But because you dropped this one after 5 just absolute wonderful episodes, this poor episode is going to get so much lower of a score, probably in the 5s or 6s, because they were so good for so many weeks.
The big issue isn't even like the place relative to the quality episodes for me. It's the fact that they're doing the exact same thing that they did, where you have the end of this gigantic arc, this gigantic journey. You have this huge, it was when they were going to Laqua and Cleavor, get that boulder, I guess, where I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, you had all of this time, all of this buildup, and that's what you're doing with it. Like, this is the end of the season. This should be the most exciting. This is the payoff for the whole show.
It's a completely pointless episode. I can't give it too low.
I can.
Really?
5.2.
5.2. Okay. 5.2 for there are redeeming moments in this. There's funny moments. There's cute moments. There's cool moments. I love the Sableye stuff with Starmie. The gem in Glalie's mouth is fun and funny.
Yeah, this would have been lower if it wasn't for Mega Sableye.
Yeah. I'm trying to be a little more fair.
Honestly, I think that is, I think for me, slightly above average is fair, because I would have given in the 4s if it wasn't for Mega Sableye.
Okay, well, the lowest I can go is 6, because I didn't care for the episode, but I can't ignore the neat stuff they did. Goldango's ability activating I thought was cool. All the stuff with Curse and Destiny Bond I thought was neat.
Yeah. Hamburgers, his fighting style was super sick.
Even Palmot and whoever the heck else, their reaction was very funny.
Well, it all depends on how you start scoring. So I start from a 5. And when an episode is consistently sick, it just goes up and up and up, and I'm getting hype with it. If you start from a 10, or, where do you normally episode begins? What do you?
No, think? I don't have a baseline. If I'm having a good time, if I'm enjoying the episode, I'd say it starts at an 8. If I'm not having fun, you probably start at a 7 and go down, I would think. Yeah, this is a hard one to judge, because the fact I didn't enjoy watching it is fighting against the logical side of me that sees the good things in it. So this is probably too kind, but I'm probably double, triple back questing myself to account for the fact that I don't want to be unfair to it. Because I really am, like, my first thought immediately was like in the 5s, but then I thought about it some more. So I'm going to go 6.5.
That's pretty high, because I'm thinking
it is high.
Like, let's say somebody listens to this and then says, oh, maybe I should give this episode a watch. I would feel bad if somebody wasted their time on this episode.
No, don't watch this episode. You don't need to. Well, I mean, if you want to watch them all. But there's too many kind of cool, cute, fun moments for me to not get. Okay, how about 6.4? 6.4. There we go. Not 6.1. 6, it'd be like 6 or 5s if they didn't have the handful of fun, cool moments, which there's at least like 5 of them or whatever. It's fine.
Yeah.
Taylor, let's go ahead and move it on to the wrap-up. Let's get out of here. Maybe next week will be a good episode of Pokemon Horizons. I doubt it.
It's only going to be a good episode if I keep wanting to say Mega Zygarde, because they're probably not going to have Mega Zygarde in this season, right?
Yeah, they are. I'm pretty sure it's next episode.
Really? They're not. I thought they were just going to do complete form, not Mega.
Oh, he's going to be Mega Girls, don't you worry.
Oh, that's pretty sick. They need to make Zygarde the focus of the next episode, and then just do... start with the battle and then have a recap of Amethio collecting cells with Zygarde, and make the battle as quick as possible until Zygarde gets on the field.
Give me 24 minutes of just looking for Zygarde cells.
I mean,
Taylor,
I'd be kind of okay with that.
This podcast is known as Look, Listen, Cast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Please leave a little like, a little comment, a little subscribe. That means more people get to see it, and some people would enjoy listening to it. So shouts out to that. Thank you to Keith for our artwork. That's twitch.tv/Keith Squared. Taylor?
Thank you, Professor Ticklebits, for our boilerplate.
God. Imagine you and Geese Peep. All you had to do for $10 billion was say the outro without messing up.
I just jamboed over my words. In my defense, I say the word ticklebits very infrequently.
You say it every week almost. Please recommend this podcast to your friends, families, nephews, nieces, aunts, uncles, and everyone else. Because
friends,
if they
enemies?
Don't do the enemies.
Yeah, you can. Backfire. They should have a good time.
The enemies are going to leave a little downvote, and they're going to say terrible.
Enemies aren't necessarily bad people.
The people who like Pokemon, they're going to enjoy the Pokemon.
Think about them.
The people who don't like Pokemon, they can listen to me talk about David Copperfield. They're going to love it. Also, you can send questions to looklistencast@gmail.com. Taylor, it's time to say goodbye.
Goodbye.
We're all reasonable here.
Goodbye.
We can just say goodbye 2 times. Goodbye. Perfect. You heard every last one.
Goodbye.
Howdy, y'all. It's me, Geese Peep. Thank you for listening to the Geese Peep Productions podcast.
Geese Peep Enterprises, doing business as Peep Industries, together with its subsidiaries, is a diversified worldwide entertainment company with operations in media networks, talent management, parks and resorts, multimedia entertainment, and consumer products and interactive media. Geese Peep Enterprises is a Dow 30 company